in that passage. We'll be there in that passage in just a few moments. But before we get there, I want to share with you a passage that I think you're familiar with. It's out of Matthew chapter 22, and it begins in verse 34. It says these words, "But when the Pharisees heard that he had silenced the Sadducees, they gathered together. And then one of them, a lawyer, asked him, Jesus, a question, testing him, and saying, Teacher, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said to him, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets." Now you'll notice in that passage I just read to you, there were two words in the first part of that passage, and it said, testing him. In other words, the lawyer had a picture, an idea that he was testing Jesus. He was trying to catch Jesus. He was trying to trip Jesus. He was trying to get Jesus to mess up. Because obviously the Pharisees, the Sadducees, they had already been silenced. They already had seen Jesus do incredible things. And they wanted to stop him from continuing doing what he was doing. And so they asked him the question, what's the most important commandment? Jesus said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Now, here's where it comes into a little bit of a confusion. Here's where it comes into a little bit of a question here when we come to this idea of this lawyer's challenge as it relates to Christ's story and Christ's message from that today, is the idea of loving our neighbor. What did Jesus mean? What was the essence of Christ's words? What is it that he was trying to get across? When he talked about the word neighbor, when he used that word neighbor, who was he talking about? What was the reference that he was trying to get people to understand? And when you look in the passage here, and when you talk about what did Jesus mean by that word neighbor, that word neighbor is the Greek word plesion, which literally means someone close by, someone neighboring, someone just around the corner. And so the idea here that we could take away from this passage is the idea that Jesus was saying, listen, you should love the people right next door. You should love the people who are close by. Love the people who look like you. Love the people that you hang out with. Love the people that you go to ball games with or have cookouts with. Love the people who are right next to where you are.